What's up, people? Black Friday discount, maybe. Maybe. This is a weird one. I think we just, instead of using this global, I think we just do that. And then we'll be able to get rid of the global. Okay, that makes sense. This is good. This is going to remove a significant amount of complexity. Well, except, of course, okay, I don't think this has anything to do with what I just did. I think I broke falling earlier today, and we never noticed because we weren't working on a level where you could fall. Oops. And I need to test falling to test this. Okay, well, this is what happens when you're not working well enough to do a Benny test, is you suddenly have problems. Okay, well, it's probably something simple. Let's restart that level. We'll delete all the extraneous things in it. Like literally everything except the dude. Okay. We're going to make a debug build. We're going to go to evaluate fall. 18 months, it's crazy, dude. Is there a discount on the allowed no check-ins for a check-in? Ah, you lost me there. Too many parameters to the question. How is the transaction restoring the game state upon rollback? So it doesn't work that way. The way it works is there is no rollback right now. There is merely commit and partial cancel. So we set up a transaction, it commits sometime later, or it can be completely canceled, or in select cases where we know it's okay, we can cancel portions of a transaction, which of course means it's not exactly a transaction, but okay. Well, it's a transaction with sub-transactions that we can selectively, yeah. Evaluate fall. Okay, why? Wait, what? What? Maybe we did just mess it up. Hold on, what? I mean, what we did should only affect undo. I really want to work on this flags feature, man. That'll be fun. Okay. Okay. What am I doing? For some reason, evaluate fall is not happening. So we can look at, so that usually happens here, right? In the completed transactions. The transaction is completing. So we should be able to step there and see what the hell is going on. So let's do that. Okay. Okay. Do we ever get to this function? Yes. We must be self-canceling again accidentally. That must be what's happening. So if we go back to our uncompleted thing, I bet we start falling and we end up calling this. Nope. Bro, what is happening? All right, well, here's what we do then. Since everything is gone from the level, the only thing that will add transactions is this. So we're going to break in add move transaction. We're going to slow time down. And then in there, we're going to data breakpoint. Right, so I'm going to go there. We're going to go data breakpoint. We're going to run to here, actually. So now this move transactions array. Whoops, wrong number. Okay, it's 1. So we're going to see when that changes. Exactly the thing that print debugging is no good for. All right. Wait, we put it in completed. Okay, so we did put it in that completed array, but we must be exiting. Wait, this is exactly. Okay. I guess we were setting the breakpoint down further from here. Okay, so we removed it from the array. We put it in completed. So what happens that we don't get to completed for some reason? Okay. We enact next buffered move. Okay, that adds a new thing because of the keystrokes and whatever that we had. That's fine. Let's take off our data breakpoint because we don't want this anymore. Where are we? Enact move. Enact move. Okay. So now, completed has a thing. Comp should have moves in it. Yes, so why did my breakpoint here not go off? People, maybe I can't trust Visual Studio again. It wouldn't be the first time. All right. It claims to be in a transaction. Oh, because it was because of the enact buffered move. Okay, wait. But all of this is after the falling check. The falling check is up here. Now I'm super confused. Wait, no, we're in this loop. We're in this loop. Wait, no? No, we're down there. Okay. I am super confused. Where is the place where we added it? That was a different function. Okay. Okay, this is where we set our breakpoint. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Completed. Call update move transaction. This is all visual update stuff. What am I looking at? Okay, look, guys. See this? We declare the array. We sort the transactions. We update them. Then we iterate over completed. There can't be anything in completed. Nobody has added anything to completed. So either Visual Studio magically deleted some of my code, or I did it manually on the earlier stream. Right? Now I did, right here was where that undo stuff was that we moved. But where's... Okay. That undo stuff that we moved also adds things to completed. All right. See, these got put together because they both care about things that are done. But it's just, there we go. Yeah. Sometimes I do dumb stuff, people. Sometimes. All right, but now we can get rid of this. So that's a little bit simpler. I don't know why I did that. That burned 12 minutes of time. All right. Bam, look, I fall again. Okay. So what I was really going to test was if the undo thing that I did broke the move buffering that we did yesterday. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. It worked. Let's slow down time to prove it. 1, 1, 2, 3. Bam, okay, great. Whoops. That's all I was trying to do. Now, because I did that, I can go back to Entity Manager and I can get rid of this thing, player transaction clone IDs. We're just going to clean up all three of these right this second. Okay, we just deleted player transaction clone IDs. So we can get rid of bookkeeping involving that. We get rid of that because that costs memory and time and it's not good. Okay. We actually need to know about this one. See, we don't need this. What we really should do is flag the transaction and say generate and undo when this transaction is complete. Except I'm not sure we even need to do that because we will already do that. So like, we're just going to get rid of all this. We're just getting rid of all of that. Like, how many versions of these variables did we have? Let's just do this by seeing all the compile errors. See, this is a thing where if I could just do this in Emacs and jump to the error really fast, it would be faster. I just don't bother. Because I just can't. It makes my blood boil every time. So that's interesting. I think, so I could be wrong because we don't have an undo system to test still, but I think just all this complexity that I didn't like before just naturally fell out. We get rid of this extra undo end frame, which I didn't like. All right, we got rid of all that stuff. How far are we from a Benny test? We are at least 24 no check-ins from a Benny test, but also writing an undo serializer. Okay, that's great. I think we can already get rid of some of this other stuff. Okay, we have this player transaction cause changes. Which I kind of, we never test the value at all anymore. Yep. Yep. We might care about that later, but who knows? You know what? Let's leave these in here. This is just about what kinds of activities will push data onto the undo stack. I kind of feel like we don't actually need to do this, but in case we do, I'm going to mark these. Because it'll just be a way of remembering those things. I think we would do it differently. I think we would flag the transaction, but yeah. Okay, now what? Now what? No check-in. Save this in undo. Current transaction ID. Carry transaction requests undo frame. Noted carry transaction this frame. Okay, so we're going to put this down here. This is all the stuff that probably needs to get serialized. Except that we're going to check these because these again are vestiges of the old system. In fact, current transaction ID, I guess we just use that to generate transactions, right? Yeah, that's fine. We actually don't technically need to serialize that, but we can. We need to do something about it. Carry transaction requests undo frame. So what was this for? Oh, that's if we're riding on something, yeah. I mean, this should really be time to next lily move, I think. That's still used. Okay. Let me move below. So these things don't belong down here. These things do. Current time is used for a lot. What are you talking about, bro? I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, undo frames since autosave, max carry frames in a row. I don't remember max carry frames in a row. That's on gameplay settings. Okay, well, this is obviously elsewhere. All right, so undo frames since autosave. We probably don't. Right. Let me make sure that that's what happens. Frames since autosave. Yeah, we don't ever save that anywhere. That's good. But this stuff, so this stuff is probably getting serialized. We'll check that later when we do the serialization. This stuff is not yet getting serialized, probably, maybe, but may need to. Okay, so num carries probably should get saved. Noted carry transaction this frame. This probably shouldn't get saved. Noted carry transaction this frame. Okay, this is so that we don't rack up more than one per frame, that's all. This is not to be saved. This is also not to be saved. probably. Nobody ever looks at this. Okay. Okay, this is good because all this handling is now centralized. Okay, yeah. That doesn't get saved. This gets saved. Okay, great. Great. Do I know any good resources for creating a simple assembler? No. The big pain in the butt is just that assembly language for all modern CPUs is a giant chaotic mess. So most of the work is just dealing with that, right? Like, in principle, an assembler is very simple. Like, I had one on my Commodore 64, dude, or even on my TRS-80 color computer. But one that you would have for a 64-bit processor today is just massively more heinous. Partially because there are more instructions, but partially because those instructions are garbage, dude. They are a big garbage. A very big garbage. Okay. Now, what are we doing? Are there, so besides the mill computing guys, is there anyone else working on new CPUs? Because I kind of want to do some recreational reading in that department. And like, because I would love to just support a wacky CPU with this programming language. Like, that would be great. Even if it's not that fast yet. Why not use the new assembly? Good question. Why not use the new assembly? Like, that old assembly is just old and busted. The new hotness is the new assembly. RISC-V isn't new, but it's open source. Are there any RISC-V actual processors? Someone is making them. CodaSips. I don't know. Can I trust a company called CodaSip? The incredible flexibility of all CodaSip. Okay, so they already had a CPU of some kind. And then they just put a decoder on it. I don't know, like, if somebody knows anything about this, if there's an actual computer that I could buy with one of these CPUs in it, then that would be baller. In the transaction system, do you change state in place and keep a record of what was changed for rollback? No, there is no rollback. There is no rollback. There are actual computers with RISC-V processors. RISC-V architecture is not that different from MIPS or ARM. Okay. I programmed MIPS in college. I'm down with the branch delay slot. They're mostly development boards, but they're fully functional. There's also Power 9. Yeah, it's, dude, I can't deal with that. Pronounced RISC-V. Look, I say things the way they spell them. If you want me to say it a certain way, then spell it that way, okay? It's fucking RISC-V. Like, because the problem is you get cognitively captured by people's stupid ass marketing schemes where they spell their wacky thing in a weird way. Like, using a Roman numeral is not that wacky, but like, there's all sorts of stupid assly named companies. I'm not going to say all these company names this way. Talk to Clang people. You mean about I don't know about what. Agner Fogg proposed a CPU architecture. I should read some more Agner Fogg. I haven't read any of his stuff lately. GIF, whatever. No, it's GIF, okay? The reason it's fucking GIF is because the acronym is Graphics Interchange Format. It's not Graphics Interchange Format, okay? If it were Graphics Interface Format, I would say GIF. Like, I can't believe that people even make a thing out of this. Like, the right answer is 100% completely obvious. Like, do you not know English to think it's GIF? Like, what? How did I used to pronounce Mac OS X before they changed name to Mac OS? Well, that tells you right there. I also say iPhone X. The creator of the format says it's pronounced GIF. He's wrong. It doesn't matter. He's simply wrong. If that's even true, which I'm not sure I believe. Yeah, no, it's so obviously graphics interchange format, okay? I mean, how hard is this, people? If we can't get that right, we're never going to be able to program, so GG's, everybody. By the way, it's pronounced GG, not zh. Okay? Because the words are good game, not jud jame. Okay? Now there is jame time, but that's different. That's spelled with a J. Jame time with a J, good game with a G. All right? I'm glad we got this straight. Okay. We need some more light in here. Okay, we're looking for no check-ins between rants, I guess. So we've got no more in this file. That's good news. We're down to 19. That's almost how old I am. And the serialized one we're leaving for last. So Okay. Is mirror teleport equals true? Do we have any remnant of that, or do we just delete it? That was for stashing, which we're not even currently doing. So if we ever want that back, we rewrite it. Okay, what was this? This was more stashing. So we're going to go put that with our archive. Here was the code that stashed post teleport info initially. Bam. Okay. All right. So this is sort of all that code, and if we decide we need this, which we may later, we'll just translate all of this into the new thing. But for now, it's not going to bother us. We don't need it. And that's it from that file. There's only one file of no check-ins. Check doubles. Dragon or wizards, where even are we? Move individual guy. Why are we setting doubles to 0? That's weird. Oh, because it's the wizard scan. Right, okay. Wait, what? Right, so this is just checking wizard whatever. We should initialize doubles, even though we're not using this yet. All right. Get move info just to look for doubles, because eventually we will want to change the teleport effect if doubles are in play. But for now, we just get the value and do nothing with it yet. Okay, so we're going to say non-tele move info is get move info guy dot, hold on, get move info. So I guess we go guy and delta, and this is going to be non-tele move info that doubles. All right. Great. So that's good. We don't do anything with that yet, but we've got the information. Now, what is this? Transaction ID check. I don't think we do that. Endpoint beams will generally be trying to teleport end objects into the. In case you don't want to share transaction IDs and having seen transactions bypass checking whether the score is occupied. I see. Okay. So instead of an ID, we're going to make this a transaction. All right. Do I need that? Other endpoints. We don't have other endpoints. Why not? Other move info. And then other transaction equals add move transaction manager. Well, actually, right. Okay, here's what we do. We just don't need to make a transaction. We just say other transaction is null. That's fine. And then transaction to ignore. I'm not even sure if that's totally necessary, but that's what we're going to do. Okay. Let's make sure we didn't totally break anything yet. Okay. We really should not do it this way. Okay. This is true, but this is a whole separate thing. This is in the Bard stuff, which is going to get a big rewrite soon. The whole thing about how you charm other characters. But that's going to be separate. Make sure all movement cases do this. We'll leave that for last. Needs to account for transactions. What a silly function. I don't think we... recursive ass function. Okay. So this is just a termination condition only used in this one thing. Okay, so what this is all about is just determining whether the priest should be able to step somewhere and be protected, or whether she would like fall into the water and die. And like, it's just annoying. But not that important, because we'll probably, like later, once we start tuning those levels, we'll probably have a better idea for how to make that happen in a way that is not so messy. Okay. Right. This one's interesting. Let's do the easy one. I didn't like this word subject here. Did I already rename it? No. Because it's confusing. Let's look for mood first. All right. Can I do that? Yeah. All right. We're down to 10 no check-ins. Can you believe it? Let's pick a random level and make sure we can play it. We haven't screwed things up too bad. Nope. I did the wrong thing. Good enough. We had 80 no check-ins originally, so yeah, we're getting down there. All right. No longer used. That's going to be a cleanup. Just all these pre-times are not really used, and either we may bring them back at some point. Okay, this one is significant. Don't assume controller proc if a person's pushing another person. This one's annoying. Well, we can just say if he's active, actually. All right, well, clones are a little bit broken still. So we need to look at that. But not yet. They're just visually broken. They're doing the right thing. It's just messed up. Okay, that's definitely not right, but I don't think it'll have adverse effects. We'll see when we run the Benny test. For controller proc is intended that the one guy is controlling something else or that the move is by player control. Sort of both. No, what it means is, so a thing that kind of steers a value toward another value in programming is called a controller, right? It's like what it's been called since the days of cybernetics or something. So what that means in this case is that it's accelerating and decelerating the player entity. This was on stream a couple days ago, right? So instead of like a simple linear interpolation or something being determined by the position of something else, it is doing acceleration and deceleration. So now, if I have a character pushing another character, then we don't want them both to be controller proc, right? We want one to be like pushed, for example, although we force set the pushed. But you can imagine in some cases, something is causing someone else to move. We don't want it to be controller proc, right? That's all. Because we want the motion to be determined by something else. Yeah. Okay. The active may not be quite the right test there, but we would only know that for experience from playing around with the game. Get run speed is really... This V1 is not even being used, which means V0. Like all this is happening elsewhere. All right. This might not even be something that we keep, but okay. Oh wait, duration const is being used. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Okay. Nocheckin. Pushing a rock that is already skipping. Okay, we determined that this... Oh. We didn't determine this. Maybe this is why this didn't work. Okay, we don't set skipping to false anymore. So I made a note in my stuff to do that already on my piece of paper. So that's going to happen. Whoops. Skipping a direction. Oh. All right. That's weird. Okay. Now what? How many no check-ins? 5. One of which, or 2 of which, we've decided we're sort of doing later. Can you believe it? Remove voluntary, since we now know whether it's voluntary or not based on move type. Okay, 2 of these are voluntary. So really, see all this stuff, we actually want an entire move info here, because 3 of these frickin' parameters are move info. So what we really want to do, well, 4 of these parameters are move info. So let's just look at who calls this. Probably a lot of people. That fog of war stuff looks commented out, right? Yeah. So screw that. Falling. We have a move info. We have a move info. Mirror Isles. We don't have a move info, but we could make one up. It's a little dicey. But we can do that. Actually, we can put this into a function of like, this is the move info that we would actually submit, and we can pass that, so that's fine. Skipping stones. Can go. We have a move info. Like, it'll just be better. Okay, so Sokoban. We have a move info. We have a move info. We have a move info. Okay. Okay, so we definitely should do this changeover, and we might break some stuff. This is one of the scariest things, but I also think it'll pay off. And the other reason is that we can put this back as well, and we don't have this information. Basically, if a move says we're going to teleport and then disappear, we don't want to block the move with a can go check, and we don't want to have to put that if everywhere. So this is fine. So this function is going to be move info is a move info that you pass. And that takes care of all of that. It takes care of voluntary. Because that becomes, is it a controller proc? I think. And we might break something with that, but it seems good. And then ID to ignore, I don't, I think we just use the transaction and we don't put ID to ignore. Like, I don't see anyone else using that. Okay, so we're going to do that as well. We're going to make so many changes. This is when you break stuff, is when you make a bunch of changes at the same time. But you know what? Look how many fewer parameters. And then we probably can get rid of half these return values. Well, maybe not half, but some of them. But so many fewer parameters. Let's do that. Okay. We removed voluntary. All right, so voluntary, let's get rid of that. And dot controller, oh, we already have this. Ha ha. Was it totally redundant voluntary? New info. And then this whole thing about mover versus moved, I'm not sure that we need that distinction. See if we could simplify that out. See, even this mover is equal to moved is redundant. Because it's like, look, if it's a controller proc, like if it's a controller proc, none of this stuff is going to be true. Like, okay. This is when you break stuff, but you know, you gotta break stuff to clean stuff, as I think Joseph Stalin said. Okay. So right now we have all these things that we used to pass in as parameters that we're not going to have declarations for anymore. So like pause. That's an alias. And it's a question, do we want to make local aliases for all this, or is it better to keep it explicit in here? And for stuff like move type, I feel like it's probably better to keep it in the bag. Because we don't use it that much. All right, so what else? Oh, what is it called? It's a flag. Of course, we did that this morning. Dot flags and country. There we go. Okay, right. We've got all these people who call, can, go. See, we already had the direction up here. Like all this is redundant. Sometimes things just get better. All right. Skipping stones. Move can go. Do I have multiple? Oops. Nope. Just everything else is optional. All right. Wait, did I get everything there? Yep. All right. Mismatching. All right. We just don't. Yeah. This is info. Other move info. See, okay, this is a little bit we've got several move infos flying around, and it's probably we're going to reveal that this is unnecessary at some point. I think. I don't know. All right, rovers. Okay. Get rover move. Okay. Something like that. Oh, yeah. $15.57. Pause is used before its declaration. Right. Okay. Muriles. Okay, this is where we want a fake. So we're going to say so like, you don't have to say pushes equals null. We know it's null. Okay. Mirror move info. Okay, so we're just going to do all this stuff and also this stuff. Oh, that's goofy. Okay. Yeah. So, info is a move info. It's a teleport. It's at the E position. It's at the target. We're going to get the pre and duration. We're going to put these next to each other because these are both not being done. Don't I have like a is mirror teleport? No. Okay. I mean, we'll set the teleport direction to 0. The delta is actually, it's already 0. What am I talking about? Okay. Oh, I didn't do the other one. There's another one in this file. Can go. And then again, outgoing result, second pass. Okay, another one. Okay. Voluntary, we're getting rid of that. Okay, this one. What are we doing? This is a lily pad. Try a can go from our new target position. Okay. Okay. New speculative info is info, right? That one. And then info.start. Right. Okay. Now we're down to undeclared identifiers. Oh, wait. No, we haven't done this one yet. We haven't done this one yet. Okay. Hold on. No, we did do that one. Did do that one. Did do that one. Did not. Okay. Pull info is boring interpolation. Pullable target. And wait, what? Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this movable versus moved versus whatever is yeah. Oh, and we also took out ID to ignore. I might have just broke pulling. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Oh, I deleted the definition of new starting position. Wait. Right. Okay. Everyone could use a new start. Lay breadcrumbs. Move info.delta, which is going to be -1. what? Okay, this is not right. Okay. I took out pre. Move distance is length delta. We don't have a delta. We do have a move info dot delta, but that's like it's not even. This is stupid, dude. This is all really old stuff that we're going to want to clean up later. Can't do everything at once, though. We've already broken like a million things, probably. Pos minus delta. Wait, really? Transaction to ignore. Okay, hold on. Thought I just did this. Oh, move info.delta. And then 906. Right, that's transaction. ID to ignore. We got rid of that happily. Happily. Well, maybe. Maybe we'll be sad later that we got rid of that, but maybe happily. New position is move info.target position. Like, why? Oh, whoops. All right. We don't say move info. We say new info. This seems kind of wrong, but all right. Undeclared identifier delta. That was some changes. Can we actually walk? Oh my God, we could walk? Can we push someone? No. Not exactly. Okay. I admit we may have made mistakes. But we really did some cleanup. Let's see if we can pull things. Okay, first of all, we can walk into things, and that's not good. Okay. We can pull things. I was surprised. I thought we'd break pulling. The problem is just that we can walk into the first solid object we see, whether it's a wall or anything. Okay. So that shouldn't be that hard to debug, I say unknowingly. And then we'll go play a few random ass levels, but basically we are just about done with the no check-in patrol. Because the serialized one is not even part of it. That is just a thing. So it's this one. All right, here's the plan. We are going to fix at least so that I can't walk into the frickin' wall and so I could push something. And once we fix that, I will have a delicious chai latte, homemade with the chai juice machine. And while that is being made, we'll play around and play some more levels. We can't Benny test till we have undo. Can't. We might be able to do undo tonight. We'll probably start undo tonight. But the Benny tests have a lot of undos in them, and like it'll be a disaster if that's not ready. I mean, a lot of the tests will fail anyway because the timing will be wrong because we've changed that. But we do at least, we expect when we do a Benny test that there will be several other problems we need to confront first, like maybe crashes, maybe hangs, maybe multiple transaction errors. We're guaranteed just about, I mean, I put the chances of that at 99.9%. So, you know, there's things to do still, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Look at that. This was 80 items. Now it's 2, but of course now we can't push anything. So what do you want? Look, you either could check in and not push things. All right. So we don't care about evaluate fall. We don't care. Let's get rid of all these breakpoints, dude. Screw you breakpoints. Okay, boomer. We want to go. Can go. Bam. All right. So we're going to see if we return true from this. And that way we just know if we're in the right place. So is can true? Yes. Okay. That's what So we just reset the level. We're going to walk back to the place. And let's find out why we return true. Hopefully not this. Okay, this is already wrong. We're checking the start position instead of the target position. That's a garbage. In fact, for consistent nomenclature, let's change that. So we were checking if we could go to our start position, which I don't think it's a surprise if we can. Now our indentation, I got to put this back up here because Emacs is confused about our indentation. All right, pause. This is going to be target. All right, that's it. Only used it a few times. Oh, I missed one because it didn't have a comma. Is this index used? No. I guess that's just to confine us to the map, though. All right. So, target. All these pauses. Should have checked for pause, close parenthesis. All right, yeah, so. Wait, this is the wrong, this is a different pause. All right. All right. All right. Now let's see. Hey, hey, everybody. Everybody. Everybody, let's have a level solving party. In debug build so it runs real slow. Now we're loading textures. I gotta do something about that. Oh, it's light probe file. All right. Now we're into the realm of real bad light probe files. Anyway, yeah, this is not good for anyone. Hopefully that'll go away when I merge the game. All right. We're in a good spot. We're in a good enough spot that chai latte is going to happen. We have 2 no check-ins. We're going to do undo tonight. Or we're at least going to try to do undo tonight, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we already have undo mostly. All we're talking about is plugging transaction serialization into undo. Now, I might have messed up some other levels. Like, what are some levels that we played? Like, yeah, we should do some skipping stones. I still want my chai, even if this messes up. Okay, let's be clear about that. I'm not going to let Ikaruga stop my chai if it's wrong, but whoops. Let's do that. That. Whoops. I did the wrong thing, the wrong solution. Why do I keep doing that? It's almost like I didn't design this level, except I did. Okay. Assertion failed. That's fine. I mean, this is the level of stuff that we expect, I think. Let's see, though. This is a pretty weird level. Why doesn't Emacs go away? Assert E success. So this is, we were asking for a pending move position. I don't think that's actually... actually, no. That means we failed to teleport the guy. Okay. We're going to have to look into that during the Benny test. I think this is a this is going to be a multiple transaction error. Like we probably logged one. Let's see. No, I don't see one. All right, well, that's a Benny test time. This is acceptable quality by current industry standards. It's true. It's early access. Early access. Okay, we're going to have to do that before we Benny test, though. Like, that's a level of problem where, I mean, we can do undo before that, but we're going to have to fix that one. But first, okay, are there any questions about what I've been doing for the past hour programming? I know I didn't pay much attention to chat during that hour, but it's because I was getting absorbed in all the big messy things I was doing. And when you do a big refactor like that, your level of concentration actually matters a lot, because if you forget a couple things, you could like spend an hour trying to figure out what you forgot, right? So hopefully I didn't do too bad of a job. All right, so any questions while I start getting the situation set up? How does the transaction system work? I mean, we've kind of described that many times over the past several videos, but if you want the most coherent explanation, you can go back in the VODs on the page to the first one that says new movement transaction system, which is probably from like 10 days ago or even more. And I have a 15-minute description at the start of that of what this is all about and what the point is. And that's probably the best that you will get. How many lines of code are in Sokoban? There are 86,000 or 135,000, depending on how you count. How many files? I don't know. Some files. Like maybe 119, but actually probably more than that. I mean, there are shader files, and I mean, we counted some files that we shouldn't count because they have dots in front of them. But then there's also subfolders with some files, so I don't know. It's 100 and something. How are the no check-ins coming along? Do I think that the FPS genre has gotten stale? over the years. I feel like I've been playing the same game reskinned for a while now. I think that BRs are pretty good. Everything else is super stale. And single player obviously is not BRs, so it's super stale. You know, the Doom 2016 was not bad, but it's basically single player Quake 3. So that could have been made anytime over the previous 15 years. But it was good for single player Quake 3. The thing is, I don't want to play the new game because it just looks like they thought the cool part of Doom 2016 was the stupid 12-year-old demon gross out graphics, which actually are just really tedious, and I don't want to subject my brain to that, so I probably won't play it. CS is good. Yeah, it's true. CS is good. Yeah, our compile time has actually gotten a lot slower lately. So we were at 0.8 seconds, and now we're at almost 1 second, and the game hasn't gotten that much bigger, so we're doing something that makes it slow, and I'm going to have to look into what that is. Have I ever talked about the use of stimulants for intellectual work? No. I drink a lot of tea, but I don't really feel it, so I'm not sure what to say. Okay, I'm going to start getting things set up here, people. You know what this is about if you've been to this stream lately. It's about the camera falling off the monitor because I went to too extreme of an angle. You see, this is an extreme stream. Let's see. What's our current camera angle? Okay, that's not good enough. That is not good enough. The people demand to be able to see the thinger. All right, here we go. Dude, why am I having problems with my camera now? This isn't how it was ever. This isn't gonna work. All right, we're gonna tape the camera. I don't know why. What were we doing before that worked? We didn't tilt the monitor as much, but we somehow caught the situation in view. See, that right there is about the limit before we start losing it. And this, see, this just isn't, I don't know, people. Sometimes life seems harder than it should be. We're going to tape the camera. We're just going to get the best view that we can get. We're getting out the duct tape. Cam is not about to fall into the chai because it's going to be secured with duct tape. I need to get a separate chai cam. It's true. We need to be like a professional television production or Mystery Science Theater where we have camera number 2. Didn't they have camera number 2 on that show? Problem with the monitor tilted so far down is I can't read the chat, but then maybe that's not that big of a problem if we're being honest. Okay. we're just going to put it there. Actually, no, we're going to go a little further because I wouldn't. Okay, there we go. No, we got to go more extreme. More extreme. More extreme. More extreme. There we go. That's going to be a never before seen view of the situation. We did a little rinse, so we will have trace amounts of water. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, that's a close-up. That's a close-up. Perfect. Perfect. See, this is what you have to do. People ask me, how do you succeed in the game industry? And I say, you got to do this right here. Full screen. Because my monitor is tilted down, I cannot read the chat, so I'm going to get out my laptop to read chat while this is ongoing. Okay. What's going to get me banned from Twitch? What? The new assembly framework is looking pretty cool. Well, that's one way to say it. I don't think that I would say it. I don't think I would say it exactly that way. You know, I would have slightly different adjectives than cool. It's the Fortnite black hole. Yeah, that's what they should have done, dude. This is way better than the Fortnite black hole. You know why? Because at the end, there will be something. Uh-oh. I almost knocked everything over. I got up out of my chair. All right. Here we go. It's getting warm. It's getting warm. Attempting to index a nil value. All right. Let me just see why, while this is frothing, let me see if I can get that level to assert. I wonder if it does it every time for some reason. I'm sure you guys have a very good view of this level right now. Okay, it didn't do it that time. But let's make a debug build and start it in the debugger anyway. And we'll just keep doing it until we can see something. Oh yeah, getting very warm. Getting very warm. You guys have no idea how good this is going to be. Okay, there we go. So we can look at what the transactions are. Do we have manager? Yes. Manager, move transactions. There are 2 of them. Interesting. Oh, I think we're going to be done soon. I think we got to put the chai juice in now. Wait, where did I put it? Back here. I had a chai emergency for a second. I didn't know where the chai juice was. You know what? Since today's a good day, we're going to put an even little bit extra. A little bit extra. It's time to run the dishes, so we have extra large spoon today. The spoon is frickin' giant. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me see how good of a froth view do we have. This camera is actually, it's not very focused, is it? There we go. It kind of blurred up for a bit there. It doesn't know how to focus on frothy milk. Oh yeah, frothy milk, man. That's how you make the good chai. All right. All right. Here we go. Look how blurry that is. What is wrong with this camera? I need new camera people. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit if it can't handle that. Like what is going on here? Autofocus, bro. need some kind of gradient. Well, the gradient is how pleased I am with the camera. Okay, we need more froth. All right, success. Not only have we gotten rid of many Nocheckins today, it is also a good chai latte day. You can't really ask for more than that. I mean, look at that. You just heap the foam in and like it's there on top and it doesn't even collapse. Winnie the Pooh is very happy with that. All right. Let's get back into business. Let's make me not be giant. Let's make me be tiny. And get the tape off the camera. What kind of milk? It is full milk. I don't do any of this like low fat milk BS. All right. So good. It's so good. All right. Any programming questions? What kind of device was that for frothing the milk? It was a milk frother. That is actually a thing, if you didn't know. No troll. No papega. It is a milk frother. Why not heavy cream? I have not tried that. I wonder if it would be gross or if it would be good. We did not have to write a Visual Studio plugin. We just output, PDB files from LLVM. And I think we output code view files from the x64 backend, or I don't remember the exact status of that. What's my opinion on promises, futures? I think they're another dumb name for something that's not really an idea. Like, I don't understand why people make a big deal out of them. They are what happens when you do multi-threaded programming. So they want to like call that a thing and make a big deal out of it. Like, I don't understand. Can anyone tell me what is good about promises or futures? Am I familiar with the Godot engine? I am not familiar with how it's implemented in any way. I know that it's a thing. That's basically it. It's just a name for the thing I'm talking about. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I hate to mention this, but people have been doing multi-threaded programming since the 1960s, or even before that. And like, promises and futures only became a thing lately. Why? Well, I think it's because people are out of ideas. So they have to pretend like the old ideas are new ideas. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You once interviewed someone who told you they only do one thread. Well, I mean, it's not a bad idea to only do one thread if you can get away with it. How else are you going to get people excited unless you rebrand old ideas to get the young people into it? Yeah, I don't know, because, I mean, it's not like there are actual good new programming ideas that would get people excited. Promise future isn't necessarily multi-threaded though, right? The whole concurrency versus parallelism thing. Yes, okay. Again, this is someone who hasn't heard my rant. The concurrency versus parallelism thing is a weasel stance. The synonym for concurrency is low performance parallelism, all right? Anytime you read the word concurrency, just string replace that in your head with low performance parallelism. And then all of this will make sense. Do you know of good resources to learn multi-threaded programming that aren't just here's pthread.h, figure it out now? Well, I mean, pthread.h doesn't frickin' matter, right? What matters is just the basic primitives, like you have a mutex, you have a semaphore, you have a condition variable. Like, there are some books from computer science school that will tell you what that stuff is about that aren't bad, actually. So maybe look at one of those. I don't remember which one we used at my school. Just learn that stuff, right? Learn what a semaphore is. Learn what a condition variable is. And then you're fine. You feel like it's just a way to communicate those ideas in English? But no, but like programming languages brag about futures as a language feature or whatever. And I'm like, wait, seriously? It might also be that way that like a lot of programmers today are afraid of everything unless you wrap it up and put a bow on it. I don't know. Like, why should something have a different name just because it's in a managed runtime? Is it like part of the marketing effort to make managed runtime seem less crappy? Like, oh yeah, you're paying all this performance to have a managed runtime. We've stopped trying to argue that it can be just as fast as C because everyone sees through that now. But for what you pay, you get promises. It's like, all right. It's like when the cable TV people try to show you all the things you get with your cable TV package, and most of those things are like things that you don't want or simple things you already get otherwise. If promises is a different name, what is the original name? There was not an original name. It was just like everybody knows that this is how you program multi-threaded programs. It like didn't need a name. It was just synchronize on the result of a computation. I was about to eat all the froth and I saved it. Front-end JavaScript also get workers and messages. Yay. Future adapter singleton. Yeah. there were other ways to do multi-threaded programming, e.g. callbacks. Not really. Like, callbacks are not a general programming model. What tools do you use to evaluate performance? I use performance profilers to evaluate performance. Promises are a monad. I actually think, okay, promises, as much as I just described my dislike of the idea of promises, they're not as bad as monads, because a promise is an actual thing that does something. Okay? It doesn't do very much. I don't think it's worth having a name, but it actually does something, whereas monads don't do anything. That's the difference between a promise and a monad. Is this the same apartment featured in the ending of one of my games? No, that was our previous office, or 2 offices ago now. It does seem meaningful that Rust using futures currently far outstrips even CPP for async web services. That sounds like horseshit to me. Where are you getting that from? Got any comments on Death Stranding? No, I barely know anything about it. Like what? Like the performance of a web service or a web-like thing that serves files over threads has very little to do with the programming language that it's written in, okay? Changes to the operating system model would have much more of an effect than changes to the language, unless the language is just tremendously slow. But like saying that like somehow Rust blows away C++ at that task, that's just horse crap. Like the C++ version would have to be just very badly programmed for that to be even possible, because you should be OS limited anyway. It is not very hard to write a C++ version of that that is band limited by the operating system. Rust futures aren't part of a managed runtime. Sure. The Rust benchmark would need to be dug into. They could also be gaming the metric in lots of ways. Yeah, I mean, here's the problem. It's not really their fault, because the computer science tradition for decades is bullshit gaming of performance metrics. Like most computer science research papers about performance are garbage. Probably worse than psychology papers. Because psychology papers probably don't deliberately know that what they're publishing is false and they're lying, but computer science people do. Okay, so first of all, there's that. And I know because I wrote papers with graduate students when I was in school, all right? Secondly, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, it was about Rust. Okay, secondly, the way that these benchmarks are juiced is actually the other way around, usually anyway. Like people cheat somewhat on their own side, but usually what they do is just compare against something crappy. And you say, oh, our algorithm is 17 times faster than the current, best practice, where you worked on your algorithm for a year and a half, and what you're calling the current best practice is a crappy thing that you just downloaded off of Stack Overflow that claims to implement that algorithm and into which no performance work or profiling has gone, right? That is the standard way that these bullshit computer science papers get published. Jordan Peterson versus me debate when? No, Jordan would agree that most psychology papers are crap. He would totally agree with that. I think. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think so. Writing papers with graduate students is why I decided not to do a master's. Most CS research is just completely useless. Correct. It is not actual research. It is part of the means by which computer science departments stay in business. That is what they're doing. They're staying in business by producing their product of PhD students and publications for their PhD students and for their, postdocs and whoever. That is all that's happening. Nobody cares that the publications are bad. Or few people care. Do I think my language could replace current front-end languages? If by front-end language you mean web stuff, I'm just not interested. Like the fact that that's even a thing, like the front end of your computer is the screen that the operating system is displaying, okay? The web browser is further back than that. So why are you calling the web browser the front end? That doesn't make any sense. Like when did that happen? When did we try to pretend that the thing behind the front is the front now? You're linking a benchmark about how it's faster than C++. Okay, I will take a look later. I don't have time to look at anything carefully right now, but I guarantee it's bullshit. I guarantee. Oh yeah, dude, it's comparing like 8 different things. Nobody has put that much performance work into all of these things to make them equal. So it's not a good performance like immediately. And it's fortunes. Is that the thing that gives you the one-line fortune cookie response? That should be completely operating system dominated. Like the amount of time that you spend in the application should be negligible for any native language. All right. So, wait, what? And there's different frameworks with what? What am I even looking at? Like, what are all these things on the left? Is that like the server that's running the thing? Like, I don't even know. And then these are like CGI bin whatevers. Like at that point, yeah, no, this is bullshit. It's complete bullshit. These numbers don't make any sense at all. But maybe I don't even know how to read the graph. Like what? I don't know. I don't know how to read this graph. Like, I don't understand. Is this just, wait, what? Why are there different colors in different things here and then different colors here? Is this supposed to be what language the whole framework is in? But then what are all these then? Oh, these are like different components? Because you need 9 different components to serve a fortune to somebody? Like what? Oh, implementation approach. REA. I don't even know what that means. Does that mean realistic? Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay, operating system, that's reasonable enough. They didn't benchmark anything but Linux. So why is that? Why is that a column? It's literally Linux every time. Like it's literally Linux for both operating system columns every single time. Like, what? Yeah, there's no way that this is a reasonable test at all. Sorry. It just doesn't make any sense. Let me just see what all these are. Classification, platform, micro, platform. I don't even, what does that mean? Language. So I guess the whole thing is in one language, but it's also classified as a platform or not. So is there a multi-language category? You're claiming that PHP is 43% of maximum? I already don't believe that. Platform none? It's classified as a platform, but platform none. Platform vert, what? Ugh. No, this doesn't make any sense. This is like, just the display of this is like test bed theater. Most of this information is not meaningful or useful to anybody, but it's like there to make it seem like a sophisticated test. Like I don't even... That row is then serialized as a JSON response. Yeah, like... Could it replace current web browser languages? I'm not interested in that, honestly. I mean, of course it could, but most programming languages could. So... I just don't think that web is where the good programmers are today. I hate to say it, but it's true. The most interesting computational work is not happening in JavaScript or any of the so-called front-end languages. Why, like if I'm interested in pushing forward software technology, I'm not sure why I would go to the place where software technology is worst. I mean, if I was interested in raising the average level of software technology, I see why I would do that. But the problem is, as soon as you try and do, it's like trying to go work for a big company like IBM and trying to change the policies of the company. You like can't, it doesn't work that way. The way that you win is by going somewhere else and doing something really good and like forcing people to change. Not even necessarily force, that's the competitive version, but like making something so good that people voluntarily want to do that, right? And so it's my job to do the really good thing. It's not my job to convince people that they want the really good thing, because they should be able to self-convince if it's actually good. Oh, IBM is still around. I looked this up for a talk I'm giving in a couple weeks. IBM is 3 times as big as Google, all right? Think about that. Could it be more interesting or invite better programmers if they use better languages? Yes, it could. It could, but that's not where things are right now. Then why is there so much hype about anything that makes the web less shitty? There isn't, okay? It's very easy to make the web less shitty. That's not what gets the hype. What gets the hype is things that claim to make the web less shitty while also either not doing anything or actually making your job more complicated. Okay? The things that get hype are not the things that get work done. By which metric? I don't know what I was saying when people typed that question. What do I think about the memory safety stuff Rust is talking about? I think memory safety is a good thing to have, all other things being equal. Just getting a new language into these large organizations is near on impossible. Totally. Yeah. No. So if a new programming language is going to make headway, it needs to make headway among people who are doing their own thing. They're starting something new, and they want to use something good, right? That's where you go, and you don't want to have to fight with people over like standards or something. So. Why does it seem like my stream constantly has people asking about Rust? I don't know. If anyone ever figures that out, let me know. Oh, number of employees, yeah. Look it up. IBM is huge. And then ask yourself, if I don't even know that they still exist, what the hell are all those people still doing? And how are they making money? And the answer is probably government contracts being paid by your taxes and people from other countries. And then when people are campaigning and saying taxes need to be higher, it's like, well, wait, why don't we just stop giving IBM all this damn money and spend that on the social welfare program? Like, why do you have to tax people more? It doesn't make sense, dude. With business machines, obviously. IBM is a prime government vendor. There's only like 5 prime vendors in the US. Yes, and they make a lot of money. 350,000 employees is not cheap. Costs a lot of money to pay all those people. Like, it's got to be at least $100,000 an employee on average, right? So that's $1/3 of $1 trillion if I did the math right. Or is that $3 trillion? Wait. 350,000 times 1,000 is 350 million, right? And then times 100, right, is 35 billion. Wait. Okay, that's not that much. I was off. You doubt they employ 350,000 software developers? Yeah, but overhead is big for a company, and the software developers make way more than 100,000, like all included probably. So if it's only 100,000 an employee, which it could well be more than that, right? Then at break even, that's what do we say, $35 billion a year? It's not negligible. Non-negligible. And I bet it's probably higher. The fully loaded per... This chai is making me have issues. The fully loaded per employee cost is probably higher. Like for Google, it's way over 100,000. I don't know exactly what it is, but I guarantee it's way over 100,000 for Google. So it could be way over 100,000 for IBM, depending on who those people are. And okay, keep in mind, IBM also has tons and tons of contractors, by the way, right? That 350,000 is employees. so it could be used as a start to better web development. It's just not something I'm interested in. Well, okay, here's the thing. If the language could be used to improve web development, I'm actually all for that, because I think one of the biggest problems with the web is that the languages that are used waste a lot of programmer time doing nonsense, right? And if we can reduce that, that's great. Okay, here's the thing though. To make sure the language is good, I need to focus on specific use cases to make sure it's good for those use cases and to use those as a reality check, right? And to tune. And not only have I not been doing web stuff for the past several decades, I just don't really like it. I mean, I've done a little bit of web stuff occasionally, but mostly I've been doing relatively serious real-time programs that in native code. And so those are the things that I have the best BS detector for. Those are the things where I look at other programming languages, I can very easily see, nah, they think it's going to be okay for this, but it's not because of this and that and that. So those are the types of applications where I have a relatively well-tuned sense of what a language for those domains should be like, because I've spent decades working hard in those trenches, right? I don't have that same sense for web stuff. So it doesn't make that much sense for me to try to focus on what this language could do for web stuff, you know? Because I only probably, you know, I don't know. Just the experience level is not comparable. So if somebody else decides to go do that, that's great. It's not really my job right now. Do I really hate my language so much that I want someone to write HTML parser DOM.js implementation in it? Someone's going to do that no matter what, because people seem to think that JavaScript is a thing. So I don't know, man. Do I think all the machine learning stuff is mostly overblown marketing nonsense? Yes and no. For sure, advances have been made in that area, and some of them are major. So like the AlphaZero results are major. You know, some of the image processing results are just better than what we've been able to do before, right? When people extrapolate those things and say, therefore, we're going to have self-driving cars next week, I don't think that's true, right? You can't extrapolate from what we have to general intelligence. You can't extrapolate from what we have even to flexible problem solving of any kind. So when people make that extrapolation, they're making a mistake. Alpha Star still can't beat StarCraft 2 Pro in fair match. Okay, but 10 years from now, do you think you'll be making that same statement or no? Are you worried about quantum computing and future exponential progress? Not really. I mean, look, here's the thing. A quantum computer is not a computer, okay? It's more like a circuit, okay? So it's actually... You can go online and take like 1 semester MOOCs about quantum computing to learn how this stuff works, right? It's not ever going to be the analog, or not anytime within the foreseeable future, the analog of what a computer is today, because the only things that you can do in a quantum computer are reversible operations that don't destroy information, right? And that means a lot of things. It means that the size of the input has to match the size of the output, that the set of operations has to be well-defined and unchanging over the course of the run, sort of. I mean, you'd have to back up the changes. Anyway, it's very, very constrained, all right? So what a quantum computer would be good for is solving very specific problems faster if you can manage to find a way to apply a quantum circuit to that problem, which is not easy. We might be able to get big benefits out of them. Like Grover's algorithm, for example, is pretty great. I don't exactly know how to apply that to anything in the real world, but it's pretty great. But you could imagine something like Grover's algorithm that somebody comes up with that maps to a lot of problems. That would be cool. But it's not like you're going to have a quantum PC. That's not a thing. You might have a regular PC like you have today with a quantum coprocessor that's like a GPU that gets invoked for very specific tasks. And that would even be far future from today because we're bad at doing new things. Isn't ML also fairly resource intensive for training? Yes, that's an understatement. Quantum computers have a hard time scaling since they have to be kept at low entropy, and the more nodes you add to it, the harder it is to keep it all in quantum state. That is true as well. You can make any gate reversible. I mean, by adding more inputs, yes, right? But by the time you do that to a whole computer, let's get back to real programming. We've been ranting for a long time. It was good. We had a chai. We said some things. Do I think it's possible for human culture to produce less than 80% bullshit work? What would that even look like? I don't know, but it would be pretty amazing. All right. What's going on here? We have two things, two transactions. This one doesn't even have a commit time yet. Oh, that's a player movement. That is unlikely to have a stone in it. It's only got one move. That's probably the player. This one, we might just be returning false because physically moved is true. Like, I think this is kind of crap. Like this is entity ID 167777960 or Visual Studio. Entity ID 12E8, all right? Entity ID 12E8. Okay, so all that's happening is get pending move position returns false if you already moved. This function doesn't care if you already moved. So we could change what it is. Get pending move. Are those the only calls to this anymore? There's one more in Friendly Dragon. I'm going to change this function. We're going to call this get pending or current position. And it's not it's not going to have a success. Okay, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I forgot something. This that is happening down here is like after we supposedly did a transaction, right? So what's going on with that? That transaction, 89EO, that's transaction ID. This is B. This is C. This is C. Oh, this is the, okay, the blocking player is the mirror activation. Okay. This code is just wrong. This code is, it's too much like the old system, and we shouldn't do these things this way. This is just the place that we are moving this to. I mean, all right. So what happened is that other move that we saw that was for this entity ID, that one will get removed when we close this one, right? But we haven't closed this one because we're still composing the transaction. But all that's happening here, this get pending move position, what this is doing is going through and saying, find a transaction of this thing moving. But like, it's hitting the other one, which happens to still be there, and returning false. But we don't care about that. We're just asking, where are we teleporting it to, which we know because we set up the teleport up here. All right, so all we're going to do is this entities moved array. Instead of being an array of entity, it's going to be an array of like entity and position, which I think we have like a moved entity. Wow, that's a different. We'll just do this. So the other way, we were just being lazy about it, because the way that the old system worked, we would move the thing immediately, so the target position was available on the entity. Now it's not, which is why we had to call that function to get it, but calling that function was wrong. So this is going to be an array of moved entity, all right? So entities moved. Well, that's going to be annoying. Array add. What is it called? Okay. Move.entity equals E, move dot, or actually, we already have this. It's in our frickin', okay, we don't even need to do this. Because we're calling add move into our transaction, right? I don't even think we need this entity move array. Because we're calling add move E with this mirror move info, etc. All right? That happens. Okay. Although this is more like entities to move. What line is the add move on? That's at 489. This is at 538. So we're adding it to the entities moved array down here, but it's really, yeah. So screw this. Screw this. Where's our transaction? Okay. So we make it externally. Okay. We're going to say found is false. We're going to search the transaction if single.entity ID is equal to e.entity ID. Found is true, break. And we're going to do that instead of array find. And then if found, hopefully I didn't have a variable called found in this scope already. If found, we clone it. We register it. Okay. We do all these things. This is wrong now. This is where, remember when I said before, oh, the orientation changes too soon. This is why, because we set it here. Do I think it would be possible to build a language with a static analysis pass that could identify and group pieces of data based on usage to compile time, convert a standard OO class structure to something more like ECS? Not really, not to do a good job, and you wouldn't want that anyway. You want a program understandable by a human. Like, just have a person do that. It'll be better. Okay, so I think that's it. So get pending move position is different. We're going to make our own get move position function right here. Get target let's move transaction. We're going to do the same thing. Actually, we'll use this same frickin' function, dude. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a get target. And we're going to call that. Okay. And we're going to say if get target e.entity ID transaction, if it already is being moved. So the good thing about this transaction system is we have all these moves bundled in one place. Let's put it at the bottom of the file. We have all these moves bundled in one place, which leaves very little ambiguity about what's going on. Okay. We're just going to go get target e.entity ID transaction. And our robustness note goes away because we are getting it only from this. Oh, come on, bro. Get target. Right. Transaction. Wanted U32. Oh, I put it in the wrong order. See, when I first started typing it, I put it in this order, and then I changed my mind, and that was bad news. Bad news, because then I confused myself. Okay. $520. Okay. Oh, right. We don't even. Oh, duh. Do I even need E? Yes. Okay. So maybe that'll be a redeclaration anyway. Yeah. Oh, it's a parameter. All right. So I'm being stupid because I didn't look at the fact that we're looping over what used to be the entities moved array that I deleted, right? And so for this one, we don't need to get target. So let's first assert, just to make sure, because we didn't create this transaction locally, we're going to say we want a clean transaction coming in. Okay. So instead of this, we're going to go for single transaction, single moves, right? And then we're going to say E is find manager single the entity ID. We're going to say if not E or it's scheduled for destruction, continue. We're going to say edest is single.target, just to, because that's the name we use down here. And then here we have this, we don't even need to call this frickin' get target function. I mean, we still need it in the other place. But here we just say see, I was dumb. I spent too much time talking. And in that time that I was talking, I forgot how to program. Oh, I just accidentally screwed up my monitor. Dreadful. Screwed up my front end. It's true. Okay, so iterating over the single moves. Where did this I come from? I guess it was here. So we're doing this n squared check, right? But we're starting at whichever one this is so that we don't, this is a standard trick that you use to not compare things in both directions, right? You go over an array and then for every member you go over only the later things. So we're going to the other single, and then other is find manager other single the entity ID, and then if not other or it's scheduled for destruction, if the entity types, for some reason this shouldn't, yeah, and then odest is other single dot target. So there's no chance of it failing because we have it right here. We literally and figuratively have it. All right, it's not called target, it's called target position. Oh, it's move info dot target. Never mind, right? Yeah. Continue is not an iterator variable, right? It is single. So we're going to rewrite get target frickin' again. Okay, we're not even using this. We're going back to this. Not Barack Obama. Going back to that. How badly did we break the whole universe? Let's find out. Not that badly. I mean, it can't fail now unless, well, it could fail for other reasons. It can't fail for the reason it was failing before because that failure case no longer exists. Which is okay, it didn't sync correctly. But that is not actually due to anything that we just did. That is due to the stuff that we did before the chai. I think. I'm pretty sure. So let's set that up. That doesn't have anything to do with the teleporters. That is just going to happen if I do this. Let's verify. Trust but verify. So we're just going to have this, and it's going to be there, and we're going to do this. Yeah. Not about what we were just doing for the past hour at all. It's from before that. Okay. Well, there must be a live interpolation here. So, haha. Do you remember when I typed this thing where I said I was messing around with the z's in falling and I made this variable called down? See, down is not typically 0, 0, 1 in a right-handed coordinate system. I just want to say that. Unless you're a band called System of a Down. Wait. All right. Hey, look, it worked. All right, let's go back here. Yeah, see, it's just good to observe and know what's wrong so you don't have to rat hole forever in your things. Yeah, we're going to want to do that teleport interpolation thing at some point after the new movement system is done. Like you notice how every time I teleport the rock, it seems to creep backward a little bit from where its ghost image is. See that? We're going to want to fix that, but not yet. Later. Later. Right-handed coordinates gross. Where are you from? Okay, let me try restarting my monitor. The chat monitor. And because it's this 240 hertz monitor with terrible colors, but now they're even more, oh my God. They're just totally blown out colors. Let's see, color temp. What did I even? Normal. Adaptive contrast control. I don't even know what I did. Look, if you ever call sine or cosine, you're already in right-handed coordinates, so you might as well learn to love it. Well, unless your 2D coordinate plane is left-handed. Well, we're doing well. I mean, I don't know what to do next except start the undo stuff. Start the undo stuff. You know what I'm saying? Should triangles be wound clockwise or counterclockwise? I do counterclockwise because that's the same direction angles go in a right-handed coordinate system, right? But I can't say I have a super strong opinion about that. So if a triangle is counterclockwise, then the right-hand rule tells you the front face, right? If it's clockwise, then the left-hand rule tells you the front face. Which, why would you use the left-hand rule in a right-handed coordinate system? It doesn't make sense. I got rid of the arrow operator, right? Well, there is an arrow for function return values, but not for pointer dereferencing. What do you use for version control? Subversion. Subversion. Clockwise would be left-handed adjacent. It radiates left-handed energy. Something like that. Yes. But I try to be consistently right-handed everywhere, and it gets me in trouble. Because, like, for some reason, graphics APIs want texture data to be left-handed, even if everything else is right-handed. It, like, doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I don't know, man. What was that about sine and cosine being right-handed? They are, man. I mean, the way they're typically visualized in school, yes. Okay, let me put it this way. You have the identity. E to the I theta equals cosine theta plus I sine theta, right? So that defines cosine and sine in terms of an exponential of the angle parameter, right? What direction does that exponential proceed in? What is the derivative with respect to, well, how's the best way to put it? Just as you increase theta, how does it go? It goes counterclockwise, right-hand rule, bro. And so, like, why would you switch from right-handed 2D to left-handed 3D? That, like, doesn't make any sense. You could do that. You could have a left-handed 3D that has a right-handed 2D embedded in it, but there's no benefit to that. It's just confusing. Because then if you take a subset of the coordinate systems, right, some are right-handed and some are left-handed, right? And that's stupid. So like literally, because our standard for 2D is that theta increases counterclockwise, all your coordinate systems should be right-handed, basically, is what I say. Y is up or Z is up, I think that matters less. I do Z is up because I like XY to be the ground plane, because that makes sense to me. But that matters less. Like, as long as you're right-handed, a lot of things will make sense. You tried using left-handed, but you kept fumbling all the pixels. Yeah, the problem is just sometimes you get things that are left-handed for some reason, and then you have to deal with them. You're honestly just not getting what the direction of the Z coordinate has to do with the direction of rotation of theta. Do you understand why I'm saying, okay, if you understand why I'm saying that okay. I mean, it's trivial to see that the stereotypical 2D coordinate system that we have in grade school is right-handed, okay? Obviously. Obviously, the cross product of those two vectors comes out of the table, right? I was just doing the e to the I theta thing to connect to the sine and cosine thing that I said before, which like, I don't know. I mean, you could argue that that's the simplest because all the signs are positive, but you could like redefine cosine to be negative initially, but like that doesn't make so much sense to me. Whatever. Okay. If you think about signed areas, all right, the signed area of any counterclockwise polygon in that typical 2D plane is going to be positive, right? Clockwise polygon will be negative, right? So that's what right and left-handedness does. Okay? And another way to talk about the signed area is like the cross product of the vectors. In 2D, it's like the perp dot product because you don't have a third dimension, right? What this ends up being generalized to n dimensions is the determinant of the matrix made out of the axis vectors, right? So the basis vectors of your coordinate system, you take the determinant of all of those, and that actually tells you the handedness of your coordinate system, okay? Is it left-handed, is it right-handed? Sort of. I mean, that's, because it's a matrix, it's like with respect to a reference, sort of. I mean, you can do it in a coordinate-free way. I said matrix before. There are coordinate-free ways of doing this that'll give you a sign that's +1 or -1, all right? And that tells you whether your space is right or left-handed, and that determines the signs of a lot of things in your space. All right. So now pretend, for example, that you have a right-handed XY and then a left-handed Z. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just, you want, for ease of thinking about things, you would like that product, that determinant of all your basis vectors, you would like it to be the same sign regardless of what dimension you're working in. That's all. If it changes signs arbitrarily at some point, it's just an extra thing to think about. And it's extra conversions that you have to insert, and it's a pain in the ass. Right? Anyway, that's off topic. And like I said, doing it right-handed, I believe, is the right thing to do conceptually, but you're always going to run into problems whether you are right or left-handed, because that's just what happens. You have to deal with other things that are not the way that you would like them to be, either way. Okay. Didn't mean to cause a tangent. Oh, I'm obviously in a tangent kind of mood. Make sure to do a right-handed undo system. I'm maybe a little too tired to do the undo system for real right now. So I think we're going to end the stream. And next stream will be the undo system stream. And I don't think it's very hard, honestly. We could do a pre-part to it right now. Because we're going to want to serialize a couple things. We're going to want to serialize move transaction, and then single move, which has move info in it. All right. So let's make a metadata for single move. Like we have one for move transaction. Let's make single move metadata. So here we're just calling this fill metadata, and that just looks up all the members and does the version computations and whatever. And that's it. Now we have a single move metadata, I think. You think the finger gun technique is just not letting you see how trig relates? It'll all connect. Like if you do, I don't know how much like video game related geometric algebra or linear algebra experience you have, but the more you learn that stuff, the more it all connects and the more it makes sense. You know. Yeah, I don't use the finger gun technique necessarily. I just do this, right? But if you stack people in bottom, supporting person falls in water, do they both die? I don't recall you testing this. They definitely should. I'm not sure if that would happen right now. We could definitely try it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't completely work correctly right now. Let's see. What's our funnest way to do this? We will put one of these in the water, and that'll hold us up. It looks like this is sticking up above the water, but that's rendering actually. The top of this is actually at the surface of the water. And we're just going to have two people who walk over there, and then a third person who, when feeling ornery, will step on this button. All right? So when I step on this button, that opens and will drop people into the water. So let's see what happens. Ta-da! We could try it a different way. We could go, there's a dangerous dangerous knock you off the thing. Although we should, I don't know. Let's put this over here. See what happens with this. This is going to be a knock you off the thing. The ocean is going to go this way. And we're going to get a lily pad. This one's a little bit hairier, and I mean, this should kill even one person, right? Or no, one person should go under. Let's just see what happens. Okay, well that broke. So already there's a bug, right? That's weird. Whoops. No, I didn't want to go faster. I want to go slower. Slower. Okay. So there's a the 78 that's yellow there is the lily moving, and it's supporting the guy, but the guy still has a controller proc alive with an old support. Okay. This is something that needs to get debugged. So the guy has a controller proc with an old support. The controller proc was expiring I am not sure why this one didn't pick up the support for the second one. Maybe because there was already a transaction. I think we're going to look into this. We're going to look into this. We're not going to do the rest of undo right now. We're going to fix this because this is kind of important. Man, what did I do to my monitor? It's like so bad now. Oh. I accidentally changed blue light filter. Okay. There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. So let's just look at what happens when we do this. We'll do this. We'll edit the level a little bit. All right. Okay, so, well, let's start moving on to the thing, and then we go to move transaction, recursively add support moves. Is that the... Try this. I think that's the place. So, okay. So we are moving the lilies. We're adding a move. We're adding a thing. I don't think we were on it yet. So our supported may be empty here. No. So nothing's going to happen yet because we weren't on the thing. But then we got on it. So that's really sort of the issue, is maybe the timing with which we got on it. This is literally the only place that we make a support move in the procedure that this calls. So we're going to re-break this time, but we're going to do it in here. And if we get the timing different, I screwed up. I didn't set the breakpoint. I've got a step and then slow time way down. We're going to slow it way down. Okay. This just might work because of the timing. I don't frickin' know. So this is going to be the guy on the bottom. Oh, wait. What? Is linear move? Oh, does that not include support? Okay. This is supposed to be a recursive procedure, but it's not recursing because it's being rejected right there. So who calls is linear move? Actually, horizontal only. I mean, I think support should count, but let's look at who, if anyone wants this not to be support. So this is really, we don't even care. All right, who else calls is linear move? Friendly Dragon. That's fine if that's support. In fact, we want that to include support. That is not good. We don't want that to include support, I don't think. No, because support cannot skip. Wait, can skip. Let's just say include support. Oh, shoot. We call is linear move twice in a row. Wait, this is also okay. Actually. Okay. So, who else was calling this? We have move transaction, we have friendly dragon, we have Sogoban. Is linear move. This is testing for rapping. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. All right. That was a big hassle for what is probably a really small change. Well, she's still on there. I don't know why she's so jittery. Probably because our support tracking isn't good, but... And then she got embedded in a thing instead of knocked off. So that will require some work, but it's an improvement. We're probably not... Oh, you know, we're probably snapping with an epsilon. So that's going to have to get improved. Right. When we first started these streams, we did snapping with epsilons, and that's probably what that is. And then this is just not testing can go. until she's embedded in the thing. So that's going to be an interesting one. Like the way to debug that is to set up a situation, like do a can go where, let's just have this guy. Oh no, let's get rid of him. We just want one character in the scene and put like a block on the lily pad, and then we put her on there, and we go like that. So you just start the situation. And you break in like can go. Except your first can go is going to be like a falling test. So yeah. But also, it's a z equals 1. So we could do a very simple So this is exactly the kind of thing that we're expecting to break, when we rewrite the entire movement system of the game. And then fixing it is just a matter of doing this kind of a thing until we're sure that everything works correctly, which we never are, ever. How did I end up at notation for comments? No real official way. I'm not even sure it's a good notation. It is something that we don't even ask that? Really? Okay, as soon as we make that transaction, we're incorrect, because we should have checked that the character can go. That's the whole point of declaring these transactions ahead of time. So really, the problem is we're just not calling this function. I mean, really, it's because C++ doesn't use the @ sign, except maybe in trigraphs or something weird, which are deprecated now anyway. I don't know. I don't really necessarily recommend or disrecommend that syntax. So when we're in here, we're going to say, we just say we can go. I think that this was a placeholder for me to type the real thing, and then we just never did that. Duh. Okay, can is can go of E, which doesn't exist yet, single dot move info, and no pushes, because you can't push while being supported. Okay. What is E? E is find manager. I guess we already have. Single dot entity ID. If not E, return. This new visual position is not even used, right? So you can tell how much attention that I was paying. Like, what the hell? This is all like half garbage code. What is this other info? Oh, never mind. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. So the new visual position thing. Okay. This is very confusing. So we don't need E. We already have it. It's supported. Supported. And other info. Right? Okay. So we're getting the move info for supported's position, but the same. Okay, this all is starting to make sense to me. It was just too much weird stuff that I was looking at. All right. Ta-da! Isn't it great when we fix problems? Isn't it great? Isn't it great when we fail to fix problems? So I don't actually know if this worked before because we never started it. We never started it out on the lily pad. I think the operating system space is too far gone to be saved. The current popular idea of operating system is too far gone to be saved. But certainly there is space for somebody to go in and do something sane. For sure. If nothing else, the security industry will be all over it. Hopefully. But also, you know, it's funny because times like this, when everybody's like, yeah, nobody sane would make a new operating system because nobody would ever use it. Historically, those are the times when the people doing that stuff who succeeded later started doing that stuff, right? It's really uncanny the way that works. So like right now is the time to make a new operating system, even though it doesn't seem like it. Okay. Well, we're just going to break and recursively add support move again. And that function is becoming our friend or our frenemy, whatever. We're recursively adding, and we're going to be in here for the guy. Right, so this is going to be in the lily. Yeah, move lilies. We're adding support for the guy. And we're going to call add move. And this should hopefully... So we're adding move for the oh, it's the block actually, right? Because it's not a person, it's a block. So if I go type info struct e entity type, it should be a rock. Yes, okay. So good. It's not that. If linear non-support, or it's a support move, which it is. Wait, what's E? This is wrong. E is just going to be the rock again. Oh, but this is support moves, right? Okay, this is fine. So now we're going to find everything supported. And let's see, did we find anything? Yes, we did. Okay. This is wrong. or maybe it's not wrong. Supporter, supported. Okay, never mind. It's in the right order. Okay, so what is, so if I go supported, should be guy. It is a guy. All right, great. Other info is get move info supported. So other info should be pretty boring. It thinks it's controller proc. Oh, that's fine because we set it down here. Okay. Can we go? Oh no, we're going to say false. The reason we're going to say false is because it's set to controller proc, and so we're going to invoke the involuntary walking over water. Like, we need to do this here. Oops. We need to do that. Like, it's saying, oh, I don't want to walk over the water. Isn't it great when we fix problems? I mean, never mind the vibration. See, video games can be made to work better than they did before if you just believe in miracles. We almost have a video game. Okay, and then here's kind of a level here. Watch this. Watch this. See, the wizard can't go too soon. But once he starts falling, you could like snap to this, and then you could like snap to this, and then there's an exit. Now, never mind exits for the other characters. They don't matter. Lol. It's not really a good puzzle because we have this rule that if people die, you can't win the level. But whatever. You mean it wasn't privilege that got solved at hard work? No, it was my white privilege that solved that program bug. It wasn't hard work. The characters only stay on the lily pad now because of my white privilege. And there's another puzzle idea on the way to 1,001 levels. Yeah, totally. I think that's as much as I want to think about today. There's still a little bit of stuff to do, like the vibrating support there. Like, what was that about? And then doing the undo. That'll be next stream. It'll be a good time, hopefully. I'm sure there are quite a number of other gameplay bugs like the ones we just fixed. And we're going to work through those. But thanks everybody for coming by to our Black Friday code sale. Will I now play a video game? Is there a video game to play? Or should I just raid somebody? What time is it in Hong Kong anyway? Oh, okay. It's a reasonable hour over there. There has got to be a game. Well, there are games. There are games. All right. Let's look for a science and technology. We could raid Lana again, but we just did. We literally just did, I think, this morning. So, although she's doing some programming, look at that.
I guess it could be annoying if
She's
like,
got the.
pay this 'cause I don't watch
Well,
TV.
okay. Not exactly intensive algorithms. MMX corrupted. Black Friday deals after chat. Looks like some reverse engineering going on or something. Someone's saying Croweef always be coding tools GUI. That could be a thing. She's still streaming from this morning. She puts in hours, man. Lana puts in the hours. That, if nothing else, that is a big determiner of how successful she will be in the long term, is that she puts in frickin' hours. Now, that said, she does like hang out and chat a lot of the time, but then I do that too. I just did that for an hour this stream. I also had a chai. But yeah, she puts in time. All right. We could do the Croweef stream. I don't necessarily see a more enticing option. Change the block clock. Learning about Python. 30-day game dev challenge in 1 day. That's not going to go well. All right. I don't see a camera on this stream, but that's fine. Thanks everybody for coming by, and we'll do some more soon.